All right, so first PSA submission. You guys probably know I documented it on Facebook like almost every day. But I finally got back some of the cards just this past weekend. So what I thought I'd do is open it up, kind of explain, you know, what I went through and sort of, you know, the story behind the card maybe a little bit. So first time for me getting this back. It's packaged pretty darn well, I would say. So let's open it up. See what's inside this one. I don't even know how to open this thing. Let's see, maybe here. Just might get cut in this thing. Dude, opening this is tough. That'll work. All right, we got here. Perfect. Sweet. This is a little thicker of a PSA plastic or slab, but it's because it's of a fat card. So if you can see, this is a PSA 7, and it's like, why the heck would I grade something so bus to get a PSA 7? Well, first of all, when I saw this card, the first time I saw this card, I thought to myself, wow, this is like the nicest card I've ever seen. And normally in my collecting, when I buy cards, I have a hard time keeping them. I just like to sell cards as much as I like buying them. So I don't get in trouble with my wife sometimes. But I bought this one because I like the look of it. And I thought, you know, maybe I'll start a personal collection. And I like the look so much that I was okay with the fact that this brand and this type of card, the Sneaker Spotlight through Noir, is condition sensitive. So really on the back, on back bottom corners, you're gonna pretty much 99% of the times always find whitening. Like it's just a manufacturing flaw. So when you go online to the PSA population report and you look up Sneaker Spotlight autographs for last year or this year's product, you'll see that I think there's only 2 PSA 10s, several PSA 9s, and a bunch of 7s and 8s. So although I was hoping this was an 8, this one's a 7, and for me, the coolest 7, I think, out there. So I'm pretty stoked about this one. But it's really hard to see the whitening in the back to the naked eye. But anyway, John Morant, Sneaker Spotlight, maybe like $3 grand. But the only one graded PSA too. So even if it's a 7, it's the only one graded so far. I ain't gonna sell it. I don't care what my brother says. Okay. Box number 2. Damn, man, they pack these things super good. Packed well. Oh man, this is the one. This is the one. Boom. Man, this is a badass card. So online, I mean, it's hard to tell, but these are really short printed, so it's hard to tell what the true value is because no PSA 10s have been sold. And there's only 7, I believe, in existence right now, maybe 7 or 11 of these. But this is the courtside. It's the Prism version. It's listed on eBay at $28,500. I told John Ching and my brother I list it for like $25,000 and see what I can get. But super cool story on this one. I knew this is a rare card, the courtside, and I can tell because I look at the population and how much of these are graded. And I also can see how much are listed on eBay for sale. So if you look up courtside just to buy this, you'll see that there's not as much, not nearly as much as there would be a Prism. Or there'd be like several hundred. You might find like 5 of these or less. So that's why I think they command a big price tag. That's why I thought, you know, by investing in this for $1,500 back in April was smart. Even if it didn't grade a 10, even a 9 would have worked because it's so rare. But luckily for me, this came back a 10, and I couldn't be more stoked, man. This is definitely a badass card. Just throw them on the table. Whoa. Guess that's it for that one. Oh, they even give me a copy of my submission form. Filling out some numbers. They didn't have it in the other one. Okay, last box. Oh, this book is packed pretty tight. Got a little more in this one. Let's see here. Isn't that the same as this one? Not really. If you look close, one says Prism, one doesn't. One's like 20 grand, the other's like 1 grand. Big difference. And on the back, you can see in the top right-hand corner on the Prism one, it says Prism. That's how you know. Because from the front, it's really hard to tell, you know, which one is more prismy than the other. But anyway, this one being the base of the Zions, I got in a pack break. And ungraded about 400 bucks, graded over 1,000, so good one. Let's see. Oh, Ja Morant. This is the 9. So I actually submitted 2 of them that I got for about 400 bucks. I overpaid on this one. This one came out maybe last month, and I just liked the white for some reason. Kind of reminded me of like Louis Vuitton or something. I don't know. Javin's giving me a weird look, but yeah, I just like the white. I thought it looked cool in the PSA. So I bought 2 of them thinking hopefully one would be a 10. So yeah, got the 10, and this is the first graded 10 ever at PSA. And primarily because it's just a new product. So I'm sure there'll be more. These ones are not like prismy and silver, so that when I clean this, I can take off, you know, fingerprints and on the surface a lot better. These ones, because they're vinyl or papery, they don't really carry fingerprints, so not a lot of cleaning on these. So I earn more on this. This one kind of more lucky. True. PSA 9s are not a bad thing. Still profitable when you grade, and I think very undervalued. Next one, Ja Morant, tricolor Prism, pretty cool card. Got this in another pack. It's a 10. I think there's like maybe 30 or 40 of them, 10s. So this one maybe like 300 to 500 bucks. And the last one, I have this Zion Silver Prism NBA debut. The cool thing with this one is I got it on a break from a guy named Bomo on YouTube. Bomo, B-O-O-M-O 99. So I buy this thing on a break. I take the Pelicans. He opens it, right? He cracks it. He mails it. But I go on yesterday because I kind of wanted to like tell him thank you for shipping the card, you know, well, so that I could get a 10 on it. So I went on yesterday into his YouTube channel as he's opening cards, and I just messaged him, hey, you know, wanted to say thanks for the Zion Silver debut. I got a 10. He was stoked about it. And then I went on and I showed off a little bit. I told him, you know what? 8 out of my first 11 submissions were PSA 10s. And he told me, wow. He said, they must really like me over there, because he heard you got to submit, like, I think he was exaggerating. You got to submit like 1,000 submittals. before you start running 80% ratios of PSA 10s. So that's why he said they must like me. And for Brad Takanaka out there, he's like, oh, you pay him, that's why. You tip him, huh? And I'm like, no, I give him the benefit of the doubt. So what does that mean? That means like, if the card is graded, after it's graded, you're assuming it's a certain price and it kind of falls in the middle of one price versus the other to PSA as far as a fee, I always go up. And that way I give them the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully they know that I'm serious. I'm not trying to nickel and dime them, because almost everybody in cards, they try to nickel and dime people. And if they can take something or take advantage of a situation, they will. In this case, I'm trying to form a better team or a partnership with them. So hopefully, I take care of them. Maybe they'll take care of me on a 50-50 submission. So that's my first grading experience. I got these 3 back. I should get 1 more box back probably this week with 3 more PSA 10s. So I'll be documenting this stuff. I submitted over 100 cards already. I did 50 this past weekend. Stickers, all kinds of crazy stuff, and I'll use this platform as like a diary for me, my son, my friends' kids, whoever's kind of interested in this type of investment. So until next time, right on for checking me out, and cards are the best.